Hello, and welcome to Soroptimist International Voices, where we give a global voice to women and girls. SI Voices is a space where women's stories and issues are heard as we celebrate 100 years of our remarkable organization. We will reveal and rediscover the history of our global movement while educating and informing on many of the key challenges affecting women and girls today.
Hello, everyone. I'm Sue Riney, and I'm located in Washington State in the United States. On this podcast, we're going to learn about Soroptimist International's current appeal, entitled The Road to Equality. And I'm pleased to have joining us the two women currently serving as co-coordinators of that appeal. Ayushi Kundu, who resides in Calcutta, India. Welcome, Ayushi.
Hi, Sue. Thank you so much. It's great to be here today.
And Olga Sedenko, who's originally from the Ukraine and now lives in St. Gallen, Switzerland. Welcome, Olga.
Thank you very much, Sue. It's nice to be here.
Before we discuss our current appeal, we thought it important to share a bit of history with our listeners. Since 1982, the individual serving as president of Soroptimist International has selected for their term of office a focus for member action and advocacy in support of women. They're raising funds for such wide-ranging issues as medical and social services for refugees awaiting resettlement, equipping maternity units in hospitals, education and training opportunities for women and girls, supporting women and children impacted by HIV/AIDS, reuniting families who've been displaced due to war, funding shelters for rescued victims of trafficking, providing solar secure cooking and lighting facilities to women and girls, and creating opportunities for women and girls to become leaders in addressing water scarcity. Now, Soroptimist members around the world contribute financially each year towards these appeals that have significant impact in transforming the lives of women and girls. To date, they have donated over 4 million British pounds, or 5.3 million US dollars, in support of these appeals. Now, Olga, I know that December 10th has historically been titled President's Appeal Day within Soroptimist, and that's the date that clubs often educate their members on the appeal focus and donate towards the appeal. Can you share why that date of December 10th is so significant?
Yeah, sure. Soroptimist International recognizes the 10th of December as Human Rights Day. However, in 1981, President Catherine Salt made this day special. She asked Soroptimists to make a small sacrifice and to donate money for the projects of the President's Appeal, so that they can support women and girls all over the world. And since then, the 10th of December has become an International President's Appeal Day. Every year, we can do more and more to improve the lives of women and girls all over the world. And December 10th is the day to see how powerful we are in our actions, and we are heard, we are seen, we are strong together.
It's amazing. And as I mentioned earlier, Soroptimist International President Sharon Fisher has titled our current president's appeal as The Road to Equality, and it will be in place through 2021. Ayushi, can you describe what that title means and why that specific title is so pertinent to Soroptimist?
Certainly. The adoption of the ambitious 2030 Sustainable Development Goals mandate that no one be left behind, including and perhaps most importantly, women and girls. SDG 5 is the standalone gender goal dedicated to achieving gender equality. And we are now standing at a juncture, especially due to the COVID-19 pandemic, when the need to realize and secure the rights of women and girls become even more urgent. Negative and very harmful manifestations of inequality in the private lives of women, such as domestic violence and FGM, are issues that need to be resolved urgently and on a priority basis before we can take on other areas such as rights of women at workplaces. This is the beginning of a very long journey on the road to equality. As Soroptimists, and with our presence in the United Nations with our general consultative status, clubs in 5 federations across more than 122 countries, partnerships with like-minded organizations, We are indeed a global and a very powerful voice for women and girls. We have members who have themselves undergone these forms of violence, and their stories have inspired us. As such a large body of women, we are all familiar with each and every issue under this appeal. And now is the time when we acknowledge these evils, begin a conversation, and work towards a more equal world for women and girls.
So, in order to help us reach those sustainable development goals, what are the specific areas of focus that have been selected for the appeal?
We cover 6 areas in the Road to Equality appeal. These are domestic violence, female genital mutilation, also known as female genital cutting, child marriage, older women, migration, and lastly, human trafficking.
I personally have an emotional response to each of these areas of focus and know we can have a tremendous impact through a global focus on them by our members. But there are a number of other issues currently impacting women and girls throughout the world that also impede gender equality, such as access to education, inequalities in employment opportunities, and reproductive and maternal health. Olga, can you tell us a bit about why the particular areas of focus in the Road to Equality were selected?
To achieve the better life for women and girls throughout the world, it's not so easy. In the different parts of the world, there are different issues. So to choose only one issue means to leave other women and girls in need. Focusing on so different areas, we achieve the global impact. And these 6 topics of the road to equality are about real issues of the women and girls. And the projects that we choose, they are located in the specific areas where we can help directly and we can also measure the results. It's important for us to be active where it is needed. Road to equality is the way to achieve human rights for all women and girls, and we all are equal and deserve to be treated in the same way no matter where we live.
Now, I know we often work closely with partners on our president's appeals and support clubs as well as organizations that are on the ground working directly with women and girls on these issues. So, Ayushi, what organizations have we partnered with so far on the road to equality?
When the Road to Equality appeal began in 2019, our first partnership was launched with Global Media Campaign to End FGM for the Soroptimist 6 project. Global Media Campaign, or GMC, is an organization which trains, supports, and funds anti FGM activists. And through them, we have adopted 6 such activists in 5 countries across Africa. Our activists use media, including television, radio, social media, to launch campaigns and engage with community and religious leaders and the larger population, and create more awareness about the harm caused by FGM to women and girls. These campaigns are exceptionally popular, and even during the pandemic, our activists have been on their feet to prevent corona and end FGM. Alongside the partnership with Global Media Campaign, we have also partnered with Free a Girl and supported their campaign called Voice for Justice, where President Sharon lent her voice alongside many notable women, including Amal Clooney and Anuradha Koirala. This campaign was launched with an aim to fight against the sexual exploitation of children and impunity and giving survivors a global voice. We do have a few more projects and partnerships coming up. Earlier this year, SI President Sharon Fisher had expressed an interest in supporting the Lugari Youth Leadership Project, which takes place in Kenya and is run by Kayanga Wasike through her organization called Willing Hearts International Society. And the purpose of the Lugari Youth Leadership Project is to empower girls who are aged roughly between 14 to 18 years in leadership building by building the foundation and nurturing their life engagement in peace building, good governance, human rights, finances, and so much more. When they return home, the participants apply what they have learned to implement projects that serve needs in their communities, becoming catalysts of positive change in the society. This year, the Leadership Project was supposed to celebrate its 10th anniversary, and we at the Road to Equality had hoped that we would be able to support 200 to 250 girls. Unfortunately, we could not go ahead with the project due to COVID. Meanwhile, we've also come to learn that there is a building which is being constructed at the site to accommodate the girls attending the camp. The construction of the building had to be stalled due to paucity of funds. So Soroptimist International could step in at this point and support and help in completing the building, because it requires a total funding of about $10,000. If we could send them the money from our end, the building can be completed and will help accommodating more girls over the years, because there is a permanent structure which is conducive to the Leadership Project and many more girls attending this camp over the years. And much more, I think if we are able to raise about $105, that is roughly about 80 pounds for each girl, to cover the costs of their meals, transportation, training materials, etc., we will be able to support around 200 or 250 girls, or a certain more number of girls, depending on how much fund we get in the next batch of the trainingship program, whenever that takes place, hopefully in October 2021.
Olga, I know there is typically a financial goal established for the President's Appeal. Can you tell us any other goals for partnership or impact?
We had financial goals, we had goals with the projects, how many projects we want to have, was to cover all 6 topics. What happened? The COVID-19 has come, and so we had to change our strategy. We had to replan everything. We had to think globally also. Clubs, they didn't meet, people didn't have events. So for us, for our projects, it was really difficult time, but we started to think in other direction. How can we spread our voices in this time? I think everything now is online. So we started the project SI Voices. We launched the webinars and also podcasts. So this is our strategy, how we can reach people all over the world, not only women and girls, but also men. This strategy works very well because we can speak on so many topics. We can discuss, we can tell stories also.
So COVID-19 has had an impact in so many aspects of our life that, as you say, we want to raise awareness. So Ayushi, can you tell us how members and Soroptimist clubs can be involved in supporting the financial impact and awareness goals of the appeal?
There are a number of ways for Soroptimists to get involved. When this appeal was launched, the idea that President Sharon had in mind was that Soroptimists should start acknowledging the gravity of these issues happening around them and begin a conversation on these topics. Hence, as a part of the appeal, we encourage talks, forums, and now it has become even more easier to host webinars, where you are able to become more aware and educated. Also, if your club is doing projects on any of these areas, come and share those stories with us. Any funds you raise for this appeal and send to us goes a very long way in furthering the objectives of this appeal and helps us to do more meaningful work. Of course, one of the ways to help in our fundraising program is to purchase the lovely SI Road to Equality pins, which have been made by Hilary Laidler from the UK. And now that we have launched the SI Voices webinar series as well, we hope you can join us on these sessions, or at least listen to the recordings at your convenience, to hear stories from survivors, work on ground, and so much more.
So Olga, for those who are listening who aren't yet Soroptimist members, but maybe inspired to also support the Road to Equality, what are some of the ways that they can do so?
There are several ways to participate. Just getting to know and understand more about the topics of growth equality and the challenges that are faced by women and girls around the world is a great means of getting involved. Sharing our messages and helping to increase awareness within your own communities helps us push forward on the road to equality. We are also on the social media, on the Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. So if they follow us, share our stories, our articles through their networking, that can help us a lot. And of course, become a Soroptimist. I think this is the most important and the easiest way to be active. We are so many women all over the world in this organization that every woman counts. So we invite every woman, every girl who can to our organization, and I personally proud of being Soroptimist. So this is something that is really great, something really big in the life of every woman.
Ayusha, you touched upon our webinar series a little bit ago, which is another exciting means we are offering to raise awareness of the topics within the Road to Equality. Can you expand upon that a little bit and tell us about the series?
Yeah, I think the SI Voices webinar series has been really well received, and I think people love joining in these webinars and listening to the speakers. We have some wonderful speakers joining us in every session. The webinar series was launched with the view to enable our membership to learn and understand more about the President's Appeal. And each webinar, we have experts, survivors, some of whom are Soroptimists themselves, who come and tell us about their survivor tales, stories from projects happening on the ground, advocacy plans, and so much more. I do understand that a lot of our members are unable to attend the live webinars that we have due to the differences of time zones. But no worries, because all our webinars and all our podcasts are uploaded on YouTube on Soroptimist Global. That is our channel. We also share them on the SI website. They're available across our social media platforms. So if you are unable to attend any of the live webinars, do not fret. You can always go to any of these platforms and catch us. We do plan to carry on with these sessions in the coming months to help build the conversations which we wanted to initiate.
Well, thank you both, Olga and Ayushi, for participating in this episode of SI Voices. And thank you to all those who are listening in as we continue to discuss the tough topics and challenges affecting the lives of women and girls today and how Soroptimists are addressing them. We look forward to having you join us again on our upcoming episodes.
You've been listening to SI Voices, a podcast hosted by Soroptimist International. Follow us on social media for our latest news and updates at Soroptimist Global on Facebook and Instagram, and at Soroptitweet on Twitter. You can also check out our website, soroptimistinternational.org. Please join us next time on SI Voices.